Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rick Kidd, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, from the Skeldon Realms, he's the Lord Skeldon himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, how we doing?
Pretty good. Can't wait. We got some news and we got some predictions tonight.
Yes, we have the Survivor Series. That will be our last thing we're going to be covering. But yes, as Joe said, we do have some news that we got to cover first. And then from Lance Moss TV, he's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much. Is ready to have some fun tonight and eat way too damn much tomorrow.
Yeah, no shit. Well, let's get things started. According to reports, MJF has quietly re-signed an extension deal with AEW until 2027. Now, we all know over the past few years there would be rumors that, or MJF teased that he wanted to go to the WWE. However, other reports are saying there's been no talks between the WWF and the WWE and MJF. Joe, I'm going to stab you at that. What are your thoughts about this whole thing?
You know what? It's probably it's best for him. He doesn't have to worry about right now going someplace else. I think he's going to be fine where he's at. They're going to misuse him in WWE. They have no idea what they're going to do with him. So I think this is a good idea. Let him stay there and keep making the money he's gotten. You know, one of the things, like I said, the best thing about this is that he can literally go and, ask for more money when his time is up. And he'll get it because he's a hot commodity.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, he even stated he's the longest reigning AEW champion currently, which is 1 year. Lance, your thoughts on MJF staying an extension with AEW?
Well, looks like the war of 2024 is officially over. But honestly, one, it's a better deal for him. He's probably making more because they, dang well, they probably make him go to NXT. Two, he's over like Rover right now. And three, well, he has way more creative freedom than he would in WWE.
Yeah, that he does. And as you pointed out, Lance, I don't think they would put him in the main roster, and he certainly would not get a championship. They would put him down at NXT, where he would have to fight and scratch for, maybe a year or two if he's lucky, get onto the main roster, and, God knows what they would do with him there. I don't even know if they would even keep his name, MJF.
He probably wound up like EC3. A few vignettes here and there, and then wind up back on the indies.
Yeah, exactly. And I think staying right now at this point with AEW was the right call. Moving along, Will Ospreay, as we all know by now, has signed with AEW. Now, he was a mystery signer at Full Gear. Everybody had questions of who it was. I was afraid it was Bill Goldberg. I'm like, please don't be Bill Goldberg. Anybody but Bill Goldberg. Seriously, man. I was like, and I had this sick feeling in the back of my throat, Joe. And I'm like, oh, God, it's going to be cool. I just thought that it was going to be that way, but thankfully, we actually got a real wrestler, Joe, Will Ospreay, who we thought was going to the WWE.
And I'm glad for that because he was being signed. He was going to be signed by many people. Remember he also was an Impact. He did a shot there, so it's a good thing that he's signed with a better company. It's you can't get much better than than that. I think right now he's definitely in the right place that he needs to be. I think right now his the goals for him, I'm just hoping, to be honest, that they literally really understand the guy and really work on him. Kind of give him that push, the proper push. So, and know how to use it because again, AEW is filling up. we'll see how this works. But honestly, I think we'll have to see how it turns out. So
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Lance, we won't be seeing Omega. I'm sorry, excuse me, Osprey anytime soon because he still has his obligations to New Japan Pro Wrestling. They let him come down here and pre-sign. They give him a blessing out of respect because and I think that was a good part for both things. So, but again, your thoughts on Will Ospreay?
Phenomenal wrestler, one of the best in the business right now. Now, it's actually a good thing he signed with AEW more than WWE because if he would have signed with WWE and he wanted to do a little bitty tour of Japan for New Japan again, there would have been so much freaking red tape for him to get through. If he's don't really have much doing on AEW for a period of time, the AEW and New Japan have a working relationship, so that's Tony can just make one freaking call. So he can still do maybe 2 or 3 matches a year in New Japan and keep on with his obligations to AEW. So it's a win-win for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I want to take this time and welcome Terry 3G into the chat room. Welcome, Terry. Terry gave his thoughts about MJF. He said, if MJF was smart, as Lance said, and Flair is AEW now, so he could learn a lot more from Flair as well. So, and that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that he learns something out of Flair instead of getting drunk and just wearing your robe everywhere.
Not everything he would learn would be positive.
Okay.
All right. Let's move along. Ronda Rousey was at this week's Ring of Honor tapings. Rousey teamed up with a fellow former MMA star Marina Shafir to face Billy Starks and the Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena. Dave Meltzer reiterated that Rousey did leave pro wrestling for a family reason and is not expected to work on a full-time schedule. So, Joe, again, Ring of Honor, you're not even part-time. That's like a part-time. You're like a feature. So I think that's more flexible for Rousey as opposed to WWE.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a good choice. And let's face it, she's a former WWE name. You know how Tony Khan loves those former WWE names. So I'm sure it cost a lot to get her. And let's be honest, I think this suits Ronda Rousey, and she's going to be with her, her friend there, and obviously they're going to get pretty much a lot of, how shall I say, time whenever she wants to, and they'll pay her, and Tony Khan will pay her a good large fee every now and then. So I think it helps her because she's still got a good family life. Rousey has a farm, go figure. And that life is really set for her. But anytime you can make some extra money on the side, I think that'll be great. And to promote her, I think that'll also bring up the Ring of Honor brand. So, kudos to her and kudos to Tony Khan. I'm sure eventually she'll jump over to the main AEW, but Ring of Honor does need some good stars. And I think that's a good way of getting their name out. And her partner, Maria Schaefer, is another good person that they can use. So, it makes you wonder how far it will be until you see the, what's her face, the one that can destroy trucks with her face.
Oh, Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler. I wonder how long it'll be before she pops up in that trio.
Yeah. Real quick, Joe, Terry 3G did point out that I'm sure that, you're a lot more happier that Shafir is training with Rousey as opposed to your favorite, Nyla Rose.
Oh, definitely. The great thing about having these MMA women is that they can beat the shit out of everybody else in there if it gets out of control. So I'm all for that.
All right, Lance, over to you. Your thoughts.
Well, it's not just ROH she takes part in, because she does spot shows or a bunch of different little organizations, but you know damn well they're putting out the money, because she ain't just doing it for her health.
Oh, absolutely. This is just a little extra pocket cash. She made plenty of money during her MMA time, and let alone the WWE years. So
And
now
hell,
this is
the movies she was in.
yeah, exactly. So Ronda is not hurting for cash, but this is a little extra walk around cash, I guess. So let's move along. Now that Kenny King is an indie is now is gone from Impact Wrestling, people are asking if he's going to be heading to the WWE. During a recent interview, King stated that he thinks he's too old to sign with the company. He's now 42 years old, and the last time he wrestled for the WWE was during Tough Enough in 2002, where he came in 4th place. Lance, this guy Kenny King, 42 years old. What WWE wrestler is going to be successful, especially as his debut?
I mean, how old was Goldberg when he first went?
Goldberg doesn't count. He was already established. I mean, he was like a huge star.
I'm not saying people that are that age can't, but they're the exception to the rule.
Yes.
Kenny. Yes. AEW, New Japan, Impact, NWA, those maybe.
Yeah.
WWE, you got a better chance of pigs flying at your butt than you making it there.
Yeah. Joe, your thoughts on Kenny King, 42 years old, trying to get into WWE, a debut?
First of all, I remember Kenny King from so far a long time ago. So that was kind of a shock for me. I'm like, is he still wrestling? What the fuck? That was I'll be honest, that's what I thought. As far as anything goes, never say never in professional wrestling. You never know if the guy is going to, how can I say, if he's going to hang up the tights. It's his choice. I think if he is at his age, is he going to go? Is WWE going to get him? No, he's definitely too old for that. But then we can't say that because look when they had Keith Lee. Keith Lee wasn't a young guy either. So it's right now it's a very touchy situation. But I think honestly, if WWE wants him, which I doubt, they will take him. But he should just stick to the Indies or go to maybe a petition to go to Ring of Honor or even. I don't know what maybe New Japan for a while, but that age is going to get to him, and I think that's going to be the clincher for him.
Well, when you said age, I think him going to New Japan Pro Wrestling, who clearly they are much stiffer than they are in American wrestlers. I think that would be the last place he would want to go. Ring of Honor might be the right place to go. Maybe even NWA could be another possibility. So.
Excuse me, we want him to go someplace where he can eat.
That's why he left Impact. Food stamps weren't covering it.
Well, now he's going to go work for pennies. So.
That's true. And I'm just going to say this. You brought up the Keith Lee thing. This might be controversial. I don't think Kenny King is on Keith Lee's level of talent.
Yeah,
you know what? I agree with that. I think Kenny King. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't think he is definitely on that level than Keith Lee. Keith Lee really improves himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's going to get to that point where, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, Terry 3G in the chat room said Kenny King would be useful in the WWE, but they would have to put him in some fucked up scenario. And also Terry said, I do think that he would be best to go to New Japan. So that's another interesting aspect to look at it. Well, we now know that Drew McIntyre is a part of Judgment Day for this Saturday. Sorry, still used to saying this. The War Games and Survivor Series. So right now, there's still a fifth member who's yet to be officially announced, but Cody already teased that it's gonna be Randy Orton because he says, we need an Apex Viper or an Apex Predator. So.
Gee, Cody, thanks for giving the fucking away.
Yeah, pretty much. When you say Apex Predator, I'm like, oh, okay.
That he has a legacy with him, and yeah.
Yeah, he kind of spread it on a little too thick, I think. So, everybody thought it was going to be CM Punk. They still think it's going to be fucking CM Punk. And I'm like, why? What is this fucking guy so important that people just still insist that CM Punk and is going to go back to the WWE when they've even said more than once, we don't want you back.
I have no clue why even people keep entertaining that thought. The guy is not, let's face it, Punk had his time. He could have really gotten, should I say, well with everybody else, but he fucked it up. Nobody's going to take that risk. Nobody's going to attempt that.
You know what I think it might be? Okay. You know how every time somebody leaves or gets fired from WWE, what's the first place everybody says said individual is going?
AEW.
It might be kind of a flip of that, because especially with as many times as we heard, anything can happen in the WWE, pal.
Yeah, well, you know what? Honestly, if Punk goes anywhere, I think he should go maybe Impact Wrestling. Or you know what? Go to the Indies. I know Punk will pay for it, but I think he should just go to the fucking Indies and be done with it.
Yeah.
I have no respect for the guy. I used to be a huge Punk fan. And, when he left the WWE, after he was, for whatever reasons, I kind of thought, I'm like, okay, you're being a little bit of a bitch about the situation. And then I heard him on the podcast interview, and I'm like, wow, you really are just a bitter. And when he came back to AEW a couple of years ago, I'm like, all right, let's see how it goes. And he claimed that he was going to put everybody over, and the only person he put over was himself, and that was it. So, fuck you, and I'm done with him. And all right, but you know what, guys, let's move along. It looks like apparently NWA Power did eventually make it to the CW app. Now it's kind of interesting because they only have 8 episodes of the 15th season, which is now streaming in the recently added edition section. However, if you try to search for NWA Power, you won't find it on the app, Joe.
Yeah, because they still have to upload it. They're just filling out. It's not like, I'm sorry, but it's not like it's going to be a big part of like a live stream or stuff like that. This is, if you guys remember back in, Pluto Stream Network, you can find old TNA stuff in there. It's just all that's going to be. They're just going to upload it. Yeah, you can watch it, but that's it. It doesn't equal to live television, like a live network, like a USA, like a TNT or Fox or something like that. They're just on a little app. You can just watch it and like, oh yeah, okay, watch it. Nobody really is going to pay attention to that. So if that was the great hype that this schmuck was saying, Billy Corgan, I would be embarrassed for my company. And in fact, his own people are embarrassed of him.
I'd like to welcome Mark K into the room. And Mark K had a question real quick about adding another tournament. I'm guessing he's returning to the Continental Tournament. It's going to help AEW long term in the stories and, make new talent. And he says, answer, it isn't. It's going to be getting bored. He's getting bored with the AEW. But we are going to be talking about that in a few minutes. And to be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of AEW. Every time I watch Raw and Dynamite, I see, WWE is a great, well-polished show, But I watch AEW, and it reminds me of like the old school wrestling where they don't have a problem pulling punches. They don't mind getting bloody. Where WWE now, it's all PG. And that's what I can't stand. That's what I hate the most about the WWE. So, but we are going to move along to
Moving right along.
AEW Fight Forever has released their second season on all platforms. And apparently the season 2 features a tag team Acclaimed with a new Dynamite Arena. Now, Joe, I know how much you love the Acclaimed, but I was hoping they would actually add more to it. I thought they would add Collision. There's no word of them having Collision on this new platform, so I'm guessing they're just going to have it for a second add-on later on down the road.
Yeah, probably. They want to see really. They need to see how well this is going to take off. And also with that, the Acclaim, is that the best you can do? That's I to me it's not like it's I really think that was a waste. They could have done a little bit more, but I guess if you want to add the Acclaim to it, that's I guess that's good enough for them. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Again, we all know I'm not a big fan of them. I think I think if it wasn't for Billy Gunn being in their corner, they would not be anything else. They would just simply they're lucky he's in their corner. Let me just say it like that. I'm going to go on record. If they're lucky Billy Gunn is in their corner, because without Billy Gunn, there'll be just another jobber team like they were before.
All right. Now, Lance, I know you don't have Fight Forever, but I'm just going to ask you about the Acclaim since Joe spoke so adamantly about them.
Well, it I hate to do it, Joe. I hate to do it. Everybody loves the Acclaim.
You know what?
I loved them too. I loved them to stand in front of a truck and watch them get run over. Or in fact, let them stand in front of Shayna Baszler and get run over.
Okay, wait a minute. I got a hypothetical.
Uh-oh.
You have two choices. You can either watch a Danhausen match or an Acclaimed match.
Acclaimed.
Wow. That fast. Didn't even have to wait. Okay, and we're going to move along. AEW did announce. It's all right. Announced that on that Dynamite tonight will start the Continental Classic Tournament, where the winner will be determined at AEW's World End. For real quick, I'm going to run this down. The Continental Classic is a 6-week round-robin tournament featuring 2 blocks of 6 wrestlers. This tournament will have a point-based system where the winners would get 3 points. If they come into a draw, it gives 1 point. These are some of the ground rules. Each tournament will be 20 minutes. As I said, the winners get 3 points. Draw gets 1 point. And everyone is banned from ringside, so there's no going to be ringside shenanigans during this tournament. Now, the winner of the Continental Classic will be crowned the tournament champion and hold the prestigious Triple Crown champion, whichever that is, because we don't have a Triple Crown champion in AEW. So, this includes Ring of Honor World Champion and the Strong title, New Japan Strong title, open weight titles. Let's go real quick and go on the Blue League. Is Bryan Danielson, Claudio, Brody King, Andrade, Daniel Garcia, and Eddie Kingston. On the Gold League, there's Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Roosh, Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and Jay White. Lance, I'm going to kick this over to you. Your thoughts about this whole tournament?
I'm trying to think of what WCW tournament this reminds me of. I want to say the Lethal Lottery.
Well, the thing is, I'm
I
not
don't
exactly
remember.
sure because this is going to be over 6 weeks and they're going to have multiple challenges. So even if you lose one match, you're still going to go up. So can have a chance to earn more points later on in the next 6 weeks. They still haven't figured. They said it'll be finalized at World's End, but Joe, they still left a lot out to be to figure out what's happening here.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're trying to do with it, but obviously, you know what? It almost sounds like a TNA thing. I swear, it sounds like a TNA type product. Remember when they had that Feast and Fire type stuff? Honestly, I just don't get it. I don't know what they're trying to do.
Actually, this is how they do a lot of tournaments over in Japan.
Okay, so maybe Tony kind of saw one of their ideas and plucked it from them.
Yeah.
Because that was from the old NWA stuff. But
I don't think the original NWA had that. So
yeah. Well, all right. Let's move along to our final thing, where we're gonna give our picks and predictions for this Saturday's War Games. All right. Now, let's start off with the first one. We already talked about how the Survivor Series first match, War Games, will be Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Randy Orton, obviously, will take on Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins. My apologies, I fucked up there. And then, of course, they will face Judgment Day, which Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Drew McIntyre. So, I don't know, guys. If you ask me, despite Randy Orton's return, I'm wondering if I'm pulling for Judgment Day, guys. Joe, I don't know about you.
You know what? They do need to give Judgment Day this win. They've been so jobbed and they've been so beaten down. It'll be a shame not to give it to them. So they need to really get in there. And excuse me, the dogs are barking. Yeah, I think they need this win more than anything else. So let's hope it's the Judgment Day. I'm saying Judgment Day.
All right. Lance, over to you. And before you answer, I have another question I want to throw at you. Randy Orton's coming back from a bad back injury, and he's being put in a cage match, War Games. Not a fun situation for him to be. He could, injure himself just as fast.
Then again, this is also the same company that, when he was coming back from a concussion, put Daniel Bryan in a friggin' ladder match.
This is true. All right. Fair point. So what's your pick for this team?
Because Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are butting heads like crazy, and Drew has made it point blank obvious he don't like the Judgment Day. He's just there to get at Jay. I gotta give it to Team Cody.
All right, interesting. And for the women's War Games match, we have Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi Blackheart, Becky Lynch, who will take on Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley, and Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. Now, honestly, this is a coin tosser for me. I could see Damage Control getting the win, but you have a lot of world champions over on the other side. So I'm going to have to go for Team Becky, Joe.
God. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Team Becky, too. As much as that, it pains me. But, yeah, I could see that. I think that's a safe call. It's a pity, but yeah. Let's just go with Becky.
All right. And quickly, Terry3G said WWE's cashing checks and while breaking necks. Yeah, no kidding. All right, Lance, your pick.
I gotta go Team Becky, and honestly, we might see the Damage Control turn on Bailey.
That's an interesting point. There's been some shows, storylines where they've been having a little bit of stresses in between. So who knows?
I want to throw in something. I am surprised that they haven't done like the pure Asian sensation where they have, they kick out, Bailey and the other girl just
Well,
to
Jeff
kind of
might be building to that.
Yeah.
The way things are looking, they might be building to that.
All right. So for the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley will take on Zoe Stark. And now Zoe Stark, don't get me wrong, she's an up and comer. She shows a lot of promise, but right now, Ripley is on a steamrolling. She's so I'm gonna easily pick Rhea Ripley. I don't know about you, Lance.
I'm gonna be blunt and real with this one. They got a show in Perth, Australia in March. She is not losing that belt until after that, and I'm thinking probably at post WrestleMania 40.
All right, Joe, over to you.
I'm gonna say Rhea Ripley. She's my favorite. That just the goth look alone is just enough for me. So, I honestly, I think that is for me. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Terry 3G real quick said Zoe Starks looks great, but she looks like she's in her 40s. Yeah, she doesn't look well. She really doesn't, and it's
the spray tan. It is the spray tan where she looks like just a bottle of orange soda.
Yeah. And it's got
she's got a bad it's a bad. God, why would they want to do that to themselves?
I don't know. Moving on, the Intercontinental Champion Gunther will defend his longest reigning champion against The Miz. Now you know what, guys? I like The Miz. I really do. And obviously he's doing a bunch of other things. He's done movies. He's done his own reality show. He seems to be more of the celebrity of wrestling, where Gunther is like trying to still stake his claim. And I think right now this Intercontinental Championship run is at stake. So, I mean, he could lose. If he lost it to The Miz, it wouldn't be a bad thing. It wouldn't make him look bad. But I don't see a reason why The Miz would need it. So I'm going to toss a coin on this one, Joe.
God, I wish The Miz would take it because I hate looking at Gunther. I hate his name. He looks like a thumb with eyes. Yeah, I wish Miz would take it because that at least will put some respect on that belt. Unfortunately, I see The Miz as just again being kind of getting jobbed again. So. Yeah, I could see him being jobbed for it. So I know it's just gonna be that. So it's gonna be Gunther. What a fucking name, Gunther.
Terry 3G has to agree with you because they'll probably keep it on Gunther. But The Miz is overdue for a title reign like Rollins was. Maybe they are shaping him up to be for a world championship. Who knows? But I guess that time will tell. Lance, final thoughts.
Well, point blank, The Miz doesn't need the IC belt right now. So it's Gunther retains.
Absolutely.
You know what? Here's a question before we jump off the subject of that. We say that he doesn't need it, but in my opinion. Is the belt as relevant as it used to be? I don't think so. I think the belt hasn't been as relevant as it used to be. So in this case, I think if you want to put the belt on somebody, yeah, you want to put it on somebody that's going to go with it. Gunther doesn't have the promo skills. He's not someone you can look at. He doesn't bring anything to that belt, to that title. It's not like a Randy Macho Man Savage or a Honky Tonk Man or hell, let's more relevant, a Dolph Ziggler or something like that. So,
or even a Cody Rhodes.
Even a Cody Rhodes, So, I honestly, I'm like, the guy brings nothing to that belt.
Fair enough. All right. And you know what? I think the reason why the IC title, honestly, is no longer really as relevant as you said, Joe, is because there's so many fucking titles in WWE. You have the Undisputed Championship. You have the WWE World Championship. I don't know what the fucking differences are, aside from two people have different ones. They have the U.S. title. And then they have the IC title. So where before, Joe, it was very simple. You had the Intercontinental Championship and you had the World Championship, where the Intercontinental Champion was usually a leap to the World Championship. That's not the case anymore.
No, it's again when a title belt, when you have somebody that holds that title belt that can really make it worth going after. When Macho Man had it, every babyface tried to go for it. Ricky Steamboat, Tito Santana, and so forth. When Honky got it, everybody just wanted to see Honky Tonk Man get beaten. It's kind of that scenario. When you won that belt, you got it was so prestigious, you could take it to the next level and challenge the world champion. And I guess they don't want to do that anymore because hell, if you got like the sore thumb that's holding the belt now, yeah, people are gonna pay tickets to see him challenge for the world champion.
It's if he does.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like it's when they throw somebody like the Miz against Gunther, it's they're doing it just to try to elevate this schmuck to see if it's like, okay, we'll throw shit on the wall. Let's see if the shit sticks or if it slides down. That's why they use the Miz and all these other people. It's just to try to elevate that.
Yeah.
They need to find somebody that can really make that belt worth it again. Maybe a Cody Rhodes can go in there and get it. Maybe LA Knight can do it.
Yeah.
Why not give it to somebody who doesn't look like a fucking thumb and has the personality of a concrete block?
Fair enough. Terry 3G said to me, all the WWE titles mean jack shit. But that's been how the WWE's been running for the company for the past 2+ decades. And absolutely right. The WWE, I think, since they had no real competition prior to AEW, and with Vince just being in his own fucking head, they just was on neutral. They're on cruise control. They don't need to be better than anybody. You want to leave the company? Fine. Go work for the indies and be nobody. So, but now, thankfully, with NWA Power slightly moving up, and of course AEW taking a second spot, they have to start, thinking out, have second thoughts on how they should treat the titles. But apparently they're not ready to do that just yet. So, moving on, Carlito will take on Santos Escobar. Now, honestly, I'm gonna say I'd have to pick Carlito for this one, unless Santos, who's gonna play the heel, is gonna wind up pulling the rug and win by some kind of a dirty deed, so to speak. I don't know about you, Lance.
Honestly, because he's trying to keep heat on him while Rey Mysterio recovers. I think Santos will win, but it's going to be clean by no means.
You think? Oh, okay. Interesting.
Like, he's going to try to, really try to hurt Carlito or do some dirty shit.
All right. Joe, your thoughts?
Oh God. Let's check their visas. Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, I can finally say it. That's Joe at Golden.com.
See, you got to give me something so I can get it going. So
Terry wants to know: is it going to be an Apples match?
it's
That would be cool.
Apple on the pole match, man. Hey, man, you want the apple? You got to climb the pole, or in this case, you got to climb over the fence to get it. Okay. I think Carlito should win this, obviously, because he's more known. I think, but they need to give it to this other person too. You look at and I said this again with the Miz. They're propping these legend guys or these well-known people to try to bring them back in to try to help elevate these lackluster stars that they got. That's what you're seeing them do. Why is Drew McIntyre now a heel? Because they need more people for that, to go up against. They need Cody to go up against Drew. That's money. Right now, Kalito's just. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Drew's a better heel than he is face.
Oh, he is.
Oh, absolutely. I love Drew as a heel, and that's actually what really drew my attention to him. And then when he kind of turned babyface, I kind of understood when he had to face when he first got his title reign, and they did it right against Brock Lesnar. But well, I say it was the right time, but it wasn't really because it was during the fucking COVID pandemic and nobody was in the room, but nobody was in the arena. But once he started coming out with a fucking sword, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What the fuck are they doing to you? Hopefully they'll be doing away with that shit.
Well, look at it. The reason he got that sword was because Vince gave it to him.
Yeah.
So out of respect, he used it because Vince gave it to him. You don't cross the boss. If he gives you a fucking toilet roll, a paper toilet to go walk out to the ring with, yeah, pal, you're gonna use this. So like that, you can wipe your ass in the ring. Yeah, no problem, sir. Just keep giving me those paychecks.
Yeah.
But in this case for Carlito, I think more is just that they're literally just need him to get this other guy over, just so he can, just so they can just get this shit out of the way. I don't think they really. This match means nothing to me. It's just good to see Carlito. He's in good shape, but the storyline is kind of bland. It's like everybody turns against Rey Mysterio. It's like he cancels everybody's visa and they're after him. I never understood that. Well, let's pick on Ray. He's the shortest fucker in here. We can't pick on the Haiti kid anymore. He's dead, or he's in some nursing home, or in somebody's Barbie house. I don't know, but or Hornswoggle. So let's pick on poor Ray. His son picked on him. So I think this is just another thing just to build up this other guy so he can get a run when Ray comes back, and Ray will get the win over him.
All right, let's move along to I don't think it's a main event, but it's the last match on the card. Solo Sikoa will take on LA Knight. Now, these both guys were at Crown Jewel. Sikoa faced John Cena and beat him clean. Well, LA Knight went against Roman Reigns and he lost clean. So, I know that they want to push LA Knight. If they push LA Knight over Solo, I'm going to be shocked. I think Solo, they're going to push him. I would not be surprised if they're going to start pushing him for a run at the title somewhere in the future. I don't know about you, Lance.
I'm giving it to L.A. Knight. Yeah.
All right, Joe, how about you?
God, are we down to that?
We are down to that.
L.A. Knight. Yeah. Well, fucking great promo ain't there, aren't you, mister? Thank God you're not fucking from NYC. Yeah. Fucking got more personality than a fucking rat in New York. Fuck. And then they got this other schmuck from the fucking family. He's Taz Jr. because you already got fucking Little Mac over there. So they gave Taz's gimmick to this schmuck. Call him RC Cola. Fuck.
Hey! Now you're going after my culture, damn it.
Okay, we'll change it. He's fucking he's old washed up cola. Fuck him.
Bleach blonde cola.
Yeah, he's bland cola. He's those
Well,
generic colas that you buy at the 99-cent store, the dollar store. Fucking guy. And then they push these fuckers. It's like, oh, let's push Jey Uso. Let's push him. Let's push Jimmy. This time they're not going to get DUIs. We hope. Let's pull this. Yeah, let's push this schmuck who's Taz Jr. and see if he makes it in there. He tries to portray a badass and he looks like he sniffed his own fucking farts. Fuck. Fuck.
All right. Well, that's it for
all right. I'll just make my pick. Yeah, LA Knight.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be it for the Survivor Series. I might be watching it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I haven't made up my mind, to be honest. I watched pay-per-view last week, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch another one, especially if it's WWE.
Let me just interject something here. You brought up something that.
Hold on. Terry 3G comments, now coming to the ring with a height of 5'10" inches and weighing at 265 pounds, it's RC Cola.
That'll probably work better than what they have now. Solo Sika. What is he, fucking Han Solo? Or he's by himself. He's solo. Then he doesn't want nobody around him, and yet he's around the tribe or whatever the fuck Roman Reigns wants to call it. Anyway, my question is, you just said that, you watched the pay-per-view last week.
Yep.
And you got this pay-per-view, right? Let me ask this question to you. When you look at both pay-per-views, right? Is it the newness of AEW that pulls you, or is it the people that are also new? Or is that their action is different compared to what you're seeing at a little bit slowed down pace with WWE?
I see WWE as a PG for kids. Where I see AEW is just TV 14, where the promos, they let the language fly a little bit, the blood flies. You can just see it's a little more violent, I guess, is what I'm looking for, and that's kind of like the call me bloodthirsty or whatever you. That extra violence, that for me, that's it. We see wrestlers come in and they actually can shoot promos. They're indie guys who are actually getting respect, as opposed to, you're gonna be down in NXT for 3-4 years before they pull you up, if they pull you up. So yeah, I have to pick definitely AEW, and I know I'm a minority. I know the majority still loves the WWE.
I wouldn't agree with that. I would say more people are now leaning towards AEW for that same reason. It's the action. The same argument can be said for back in the mid 80s. If you love wrestling, I mean the actual get down nitty gritty wrestling, you saw the NWA Jim Crockett Promotions. If you wanted the cartoony skits, people, Flash and all that, yes, you saw that the 80s WWF with Hulk Hogan. What you're seeing now is that WWE is so dried up. I think, and this is, Lance, I'm going to ask you that question. The WWE is so dry up with great talent that's been long gone already, that today's talent are just guys who just, we're here for a paycheck, that's it. What do you think, Lance?
Well, now, back when Vince was in charge.
Snidely Whiplash, unhand that horse.
And enough about Charlotte Flair. But they have talent. They were just scared to make new stars because they were scared they were going to jump elsewhere.
You know what? Exactly. And that's another thing we would always see. We've talked about it so many times before, even before AEW, when we were forced to watch. If you want to watch wrestling, you had to watch WWE. And there was always the same 5 or 6 guys that were at the top. All the time, every time.
Yeah.
They might push a wrestler to the top for a while just to get his push, and then all of a sudden he gets knocked back down and he's, at the back of the line, so to speak. And unfortunately, it's just a shame because, like you said, WWE has so many wrestlers. They could say, all right, you know what? Roman Reigns had his, 1,000+ day or whatever reign, title reign he's gone for. But how many times has this fucking jerk off defended the title? This year?
In entirety, I want us, and I mean talking in entirety of all his title reigns, 50 something.
Well, I can tell you, in this year alone, 2023, he's only defended his title 11 times.
Damn.
What's that say? He can brag about how many days you hold the title. Yeah, that's fucking easy. If you don't defend it, where you have other wrestlers over at AEW that will defend their championships all time over time, and when they lose it, I would respect them for saying, yeah, they may not have held it long as Roman Reigns or as anybody else, but like somebody like Orange Cassidy, who had the international championship, he was defending that title every night like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
that to me is a champion.
Something we said about them not using their talent right in WWE.
Yeah.
A perfect example. How long was Dolph with the company?
Yeah. And
they should have put him to he should have been main event status.
Exactly.
But wasn't he main event status before? They did give him a run. The problem with Dolph Ziggler was that he was too much Shawn Michaels.
No, he got 2 concussions.
He got 2 concussions.
Kind of pissed somebody off backstage, but
yeah, there was rumors
that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he'd gotten his first title reign, that was at I think somebody cashed in the Money in the Bank, so he only had it for a matter of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
His second run, it looked like he was going for a good run, but unfortunately he got a head concussion and was forced to drop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there was word that he kind of had a bad attitude in the back. Not really sure what that was all about. But you're in a company for X amount of years. You would figure that, okay, you know what? Let's give this guy a third shot.
Yeah.
If not, why the fuck keep him around for so fucking long? But honestly, I hope that when he's cleared, I do hope he goes to AEW. He's one wrestler that I would love to see.
Rick, I think we got a few more minutes. You did post on the HWR chat room, which you can go to Facebook, which is Wrestling Rants, about Buff Bagwell showing his stuff and getting caught. You want to...
Actually, it wasn't showing his stuff and getting caught. What had happened was a misunderstanding. He was arrested from a previous charge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go to it right now. And yeah, he was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs, and that was speeding on November 16th. Keep in mind, the drugs and influence was from a previous thing, so that was a paper issue. Because he's been pretty much clean and sober, and this is what he had to say, and this was on Busted Open Radio, and this is a quote. I'm in the program for the DUI Cobb County Accountability Court. In previous times before now, I've been in the program. They've had very, very serious rules about a strenuous schedule. Early on, I had an argument with counselors, and I ran over a curb at a Texaco station, and it had to be towed. I have a bad knee, and it had to need replacement surgery. I had an appointment at the block away. We hurried to be down, hurried, but didn't want to be late. I asked the counselor if he could drive because he had a better leg. And that's where I guess they got in an accident. He said, no problem. Long story short, the conversation, he did go to jail because he was disrupting a class. So a month later, I did the paperwork on my flight. I was Atlanta, Des Moines to Dallas and back and forth. There was a leg in between. On the paperwork, the UI court said I wasn't in place for a middle flight, and they were very particular on the way you do things. They'd say, okay, you're okay to travel. But when I got home, they said, how'd you get from Des Moines to San Antonio? And of course, he had to explain what happened. There wasn't any room. We need to know. Okay, from now on, I'll let you guys know 24 hours in jail for not doing the right paperwork. So that's pretty much what it came down to. That big whole blubber, it was like bad paperwork as opposed to really doing anything wrong. This time.
Yeah. You know what? And it's a shame, too. You know, it's somebody else fucking up the paperwork. And that shows you, what can happen. And as soon as he said Cobb County, Georgia, I'm thinking the big boss man, may he rest in peace.
And which, damn thing is, Buff's trying to make it where he can keep his leg.
Yeah.
Because he gets an infection or something, because he has like an open wound, they might have to amputate that thing.
Yeah. Now,
well, he can always come back as Long John Silver, a pirate.
Or Zach Gallen Sr.
Now, if you guys heard of...
We're sadistic fucks, yes.
One last piece of news, according to reports, former NWA Women's Tag Team Champion Maddie Rankowski has signed a deal with WWE's NXT. Madison has been spotted working out in the WWE's Performance Center. Now, Joe, I know you don't know who she is. I did a little bit of work, research on her. She has done a few AEW matches, not a lot, but she's just worked in a few other indie promotions. So, I'm sorry, Joe, to inform you, she has small boobs, so you're probably not going to like her to begin with.
Damn right. What the hell is up with these fucking new women that are coming out? I'm going to have to start hooking bicycle pumps to them, start blowing up some boobs here. I only heard slightly about her. I know she was very well wanted in the indies, but, honestly, that's really it. I don't know, what else to say. Good luck to her. Anybody that can get out of the indies or in a horrible place and go into the WWE, even if it's NXT, it works great. That's a great accomplishment. So, good luck to her.
Yeah, actually, even Terry Boyer, Terry 3G said, good for her. She's a pretty and talented gal, and she is. She's a good-looking chick. Lance, you have any thoughts on this lady, Maddie Renkwalk, or however you fucking pronounce it?
Honestly, when I first saw, I was like, who? But she's in WBA. She's been in the business a while. So, hey, good for her.
Yeah, like I said, she was in NWA for a little bit. She did some TNA and Impact, and of course, she also worked a few matches in the early years of AEW. But she didn't really go that far in AEW. So unfortunately, she was just kind of let go. I do hope she finds her footing in NXT. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, I think right now they need more women in NXT to kind of boost up that division, So I think that'll be a good fit. I think her situation probably in AEW is there's just too many women there, and the division really wasn't taken off at that time yet. They still were trying to get everybody, how can I say, like settled in. So I think that's probably why she probably didn't make it there, So, let's hope that WWE uses her properly, That I think my main argument when somebody comes from an indie company or from a smaller company and they come into WWE, that you hope that they're used properly.
And again, yeah, it's all about, again, if WWE wants to push them and use them in the right way. We're going to cover one last topic, and then we're going to call it for the night. FDR did make it to the top of the PWI Tag Team 100 this year. And here's some of the top 10. Obviously, FDR at the first. Aussie Open, which is Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. They made second. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at the third. Bishamon. I'm not sure who they're from. It looks like from New Japan. Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. Motor City Machine Guns from TNA/Impact. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. They were actually a good tag team. I haven't seen them in a while. ABC. They must be in the Indies because I haven't heard of them.
I'll tell you this. ABC is an indie group. A buddy of mine told me about it, and I just wanted to. Like, who the fuck will name their team ABC? What is your finisher maneuver? The XYZ?
I was going to say 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, or the 1, 2, 3. That shows you the level of talent today. Like, FTR should be where they're at. Yeah. They should always be up there because everybody else just sucks today. God.
Yeah, last year I think the Usos took it, but FTR was in second place.
Yeah.
Of course the Usos too. They probably they paid whoever it is because you don't really win. And your votes don't count. It's who pays for that. So who pays the more money to get there? But I think this time they just said, look, FTR is better. Plus the Usos are not teaming anymore. So who else?
Yeah, exactly.
Terry says, ABC, are they managed by the Jackson 5? No, they're managed by the father. What was his name? Joe Jackson. Yeah. So occasionally he'll whip their ass when they don't get something right.
They lose, he puts them through a table.
Yeah. And the last 4 is the Acclaimed, Judgment Day, Damage Control, and 7 Up. And I think that's a Tanahashi.
7.
Are they in a feud with Dr. Pepper?
Yeah,
right.
No kidding.
Okay. What was the name of the other team you said? It's like my mom or something shit like that. What the fuck was it?
Oh, Bishamon.
Bishamon. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was like your bitch is a mom or your mom is a bitch. I don't know.
Nope, not that. So. Well, there you have it, guys.
You know what? Fuck this. When are they bringing back, what's that idiot, Wayne's mom?
Oh, Wayne's mom, yes.
Wayne.
They need to bring his mom back.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
the kid himself. I just want to see the MILF in a fucking bikini.
Well, you know what? You can actually, Joe. Believe it or not, I have looked her up. I can't put her on the Babe of the Day because she's really not a wrestling babe. But, yeah, she has her own Instagram account.
Boss, can I bring up one last thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Nick Balea, or better known to most wrestling fans, Nick Hogan.
Oh, yeah, he got arrested, didn't he?
For being DUI on the same street where he had a wreck that killed his best friend.
Hey. He was celebrating the anniversary. There you go, putting shit again.
I remember the post, and actually, you know what he was coming off of? He was coming from Hulk Hogan's own club.
Oh, brother.
I think it's called Hogan's Hangout. I think. Don't hold me to it.
I think. Yeah.
Well, he was hanging out all right.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Man. Is Hogan's Hangout, Hogan's Hideaway, something like that?
It's Hogan's Hangout. I believe. I'm almost 90% sure that's what it is. But yeah.
I think just sitting down and watching Wayne's mom is more entertaining than watching fucking WWE.
We know what Joe's going to be doing after we wrap up.
I'm already looking her up.
Well, Joe, then you can pleasure down as the Babe of the Day, all right?
Yeah, that's right. Damn it.
Well, first off, I think we got to wrap up this edition of Wrestling Rants. I'd like to thank Terry 3G for hanging out. Also, Mark K, I believe he was in there earlier. So thank you, Mark. We're here every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. If you want more of Wrestling Rants, check out our Facebook group section, Wrestling Rants, where we post the latest news, rumors, and much, much more. So, Joe, you're over at Skeleton Realms. What do you got going on over there?
Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving for everybody. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so whoever celebrates that, you know, may your bellies be full and your day be happy. Right now, I'm going to be doing on the weekend, I'm going to go back to looking at a couple of the old games. Alone in the Dark, which was the original when it first came out. That was kind of the precursor to Resident Evil. I'm going to be looking into that. I'm also running my own Wrestling E-Fed. So if you want to check that out, just do the hashtag WWO Live, and it's on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where we do basically, I run it like a real wrestling promotion, but it's with WWE 2K23, and people do promos and skits and all that. So definitely check it out. Just do the hashtag WWO Live.
And Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. What do you got going on over there?
Well, every Tuesday night we go live on Lance Moss TV and Friends. We never know who's going to show up. It's about 7 up. We shoot for like hour and a half. And, well, like Joe said, y'all have a nice Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, I cannot wait. This is going to be my first Thanksgiving meal in like 2 years. So, long story short, I'm not going to make a long story out of it, but believe me, I cannot wait. I am like going to starve myself overnight, so when we get there, I'm like, okay, where's the food? You know, just push people out of the way. Yeah, good to see you. Love you too. Just give me the fucking food. So.
Like who are you again?
Yeah.
Like, if I really fucking care, just give me the fucking drumstick.
Exactly.
I don't care if you are my grandmother. Just fucking give me the drumstick.
So with that, for the Hardcore Crew, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Ed, saying, we'll see you when we see you.
Buy this shirt!
And Joe, stop whacking off to Nick Wayne's mom.
Fuck, man. She's fucking